What's going on, good people? This is your guy, Byron Scott, your real estate investor next door, coming back to you with another live here with my guy, Cordero,
Yo,
um, talking about how to find and talk to buyers, right?
yeah,
Um, I think that's the first step that I teach people to do, in this bulletproof wholesaling. Go find you some cash buyers, figure out what they want, what they buy, where they buy, all that other good stuff. Um, that way you can bring the properties that they're interested in purchasing. So, how do you find these people, and how do you talk to these people? Like, what do you say when you approach them? You know. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Make sure y'all leave a comment on the side. Let us know where you're from. We want to see who up in here. And shoot, if you got questions, make sure you leave it in the comments on the side. That way we can address any questions you have, pertaining to wholesale or wholesaling or real estate in general. But today we mainly going to be focused on talking to cash buyers, right? Or how do we talk to cash buyers? A lot of times it's not necessarily talking directly to them. Sometimes, a lot of times talking to other people like agents that's connected to them, maybe somebody on their team, but you're still dealing with cash buyers. So that's what Caretha coming through, man. Caretha big time, man. Caretha with the dropping, hitting 40 balls and hitting 100K months, man. Caretha over here killing it, man. So,
shout out
but
to
anyways, yeah, man. Caretha over here hitting this. Yeah, we on that smarter contact, Caretha, man. We trying to
yeah.
get
We
it
try to
straight.
get on Caretha level, man.
Yeah, trying to get on Caretha level, man. We getting that smarter contact straightened out.
With this smarter
But
contact for sure.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, yeah, man, how to find cash buyers. I posted a video not too long ago talking about how you can find cash buyers. Some of my favorite ways to find cash buyers. One of them was looking on Zillow. That's a free way to find cash buyers. A lot of cash buyers, like myself, they buy properties, they flip them, and then they list them. Right? So you can always go on Zillow and see cash buyers listing their properties. You can also find cash buyers a lot of times at their properties. So like yesterday, I was driving around and I saw a guy with a dump and he was at a property. Stop, talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was doing early on. Like anytime I saw somebody at a property fixing it up or something like that, stopping, getting out, talking to them. So that's another good way to find cash buyers. Another thing I did to find cash buyers was I went to the courthouse. Um, I figured out when the auction was, and I went to the courthouse and just started talking to people. Some cash buyers up there. I was just talking to them, you know. So that's another place. And I saw like wholesalers coming around, like giving people email addresses. Like they was just going around and hitting. Like they went from one county to another county to another county, just getting investors contact information and getting out of there, go to the next county, get the contact information, get out of there, go to the next county. Just
Yeah,
getting people, and that's the first Tuesday of every month in Georgia, I know. But if you can call around to the counties just right around you and like figure out where the tax sale is gonna be, or whatever, what the auction is gonna be, show up to that auction, get the information, hop on over to the next county. Well, maybe you do one county this month, another county next month, but you need to call like that county office or whatever and figure out when it's going to actually happen. You know what I'm saying? Because different places be doing this stuff differently. They have different locations. A lot of times be at the courthouse, but not always. So those are some of my favorite ways to find cash buyers. Along with PropStream, I find cash buyers on there by looking through records. So those are my favorite ways to find cash buyers. And those are the ways I found my first few cash buyers. Now there are other ways, but those are my favorite ways. What do you think, Cordero? How are you finding cash buyers, or how did you find cash buyers? Like as you tried to get started and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. A lot of those ways too. Like you said, going to those auctions and stuff, man, those are really, really good ways just because if somebody's buying at an auction, that means that they're paying all cash, not always the best deals, sometimes the best deals, but they paying all cash for properties sight unseen almost some of the times. So that just lets you know that's a buyer that's trying to find a deal. That's a hungry individual that you want to work with and be feeding them deals. Um, and prop stream is a big way, like you said, on prop stream, going in the area that you targeting, and then searching up the cash sales. But I like to get very narrow with that, in a sense, like if you know you targeting a particular county or city or something like that, go into a particular neighborhood that you know is hot or that you can see is hotter than the rest. See, oh, they doing flips in this area by this school or something like that, and then find the cash sales, the cash transactions, and then I would skip trace like individual owners at that point. Or I mean, you could pull the whole list. There's really no harm in doing that, honestly. Just like pulling the whole list. But this is like when I'm trying to really, really find like particular areas or neighborhood, like a buyer who I know, because if there's a buyer who got like three flips or three cash transactions in the same neighborhood, that's how I know. Because if you got a buyer who's got cash transactions over the entire city, that's one thing. But if you got one guy in one smaller area, that just kind of says that person's more targeted, and it just helps you be a little bit more targeted. But I had more success doing it that way. And then I would skip trace. And actually, that's one of the rare times where I would skip trace a person using PropStream skip tracing service, and it usually comes back. But I wouldn't recommend it for batch skip or whatever. But whatever. And then but another way that we don't talk about as much is networking. And I'm not talking about just like hopping on Facebook, but like meeting people or like telling your friends, because we always talk about talking to people to say, hey, I work with a network of investors. If you know anybody who wants to sell their house, networking is advantageous in that direction. But as far as finding buyers too, like your mom could work with somebody who has an uncle who's flipping properties. Oh, he's like, yeah, he's a flipper. He's looking for deals. Like the same way you can find houses to sell, you can definitely find, you can network to find buyers. And I found my first buyer for my first deal from my friend's girlfriend was in some sort of program that the buyer was putting on, and I just met, she introduced me. She was like, I ain't really doing much with the program, but you look like you really want to do this. You really want to go into real estate. So I introduced y'all, and we built a relationship. She became actually a good mentor and stuff like that. And she ended up buying my first deal, and she's helped me out. Also, another thing, I used to work at the Verizon in Franklin, Tennessee, and that's like a wealthier part, like an outskirt of Nashville. That's like a Buckhead. Buckhead is like a wealthy part?
Yeah.
Like the Buckhead almost, or something close to it. And I used to work at the Verizon there, and it's just a lot of wealthy people in that area, a lot of retired athletes, and just stuff like that. Old money. That's old money. You know what I mean? And working at that Verizon, people would come in all the time, and just working at my job, I would meet like people who was like big time investors. I'm talking about these people. Like, for example, one time I met a guy who was a developer. Like he would like buy a whole plot of land and build a whole neighborhood. And I remember I was telling him like, man, this is something I really want to do. I want to get into it. And he was just while I'm switching his phone, he's giving me advice. And I remember he was so serious. He was talking about, man, I forgot. He's like, man, I started back in the day, like $2,500 earnest money. He said, I just put up 10 million for earnest money or something. I said, 10 million for earnest. That was for earnest. That's why I said earnest money is relative. When people are like, how much earnest money do you put up? It's all relative.
I'll tell you, man, you can go down to $1, 1 penny. But but yeah, man, that's definitely networking for sure. You know what I'm saying? And just talking to people. I found some of my best buyers just talking to people. But Caretha coming through with that heat. Said, maybe property management. you can ask them if their clients is looking for more properties for sure.
Nah,
Right.
because look, right after I worked for Verizon, that was the last like real job. I said, man, I need to do. I said, I told myself at the top of that year, I said, I'm going to work in real estate. I don't care if it's doing ideally what I want to do, but I need to get a job working in real estate where all of my money and income comes from real estate. So I quit that job. I took a major pay cut, but I was so serious. I went to go work for a property management company, but still there in Franklin. And they manage properties all over Tennessee. Like I'm talking about all over Tennessee. And Teresa just hit it dead on the head with that one. Like I did find some buyers and stuff like that, but it was just because I was working in there and I was working in a department, in their maintenance department. And so I got to like, every time somebody moved out, I got to like ask the buyer, hey man, I'm talking directly with the owners of the properties. So I mean, I ain't say you gotta like, I don't think Cariza's saying you gotta go work for them, but that's so money. That's so
Just
money
asking that question. Yeah, yeah. Just asking question for sure.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
So first of all, Zay man tapping in from friggin'
Oh, dog.
Portland. Goodness gracious, out there in the and well, it ain't Dane Town no more, man. They done switched up. Uh, they drafted Scoot Henderson, man. Yeah, he from Marietta, Georgia. Kid from Cobb County, man. They drafted him to be new face of the Trailblazers, man. But anyway, so would you recommend on market or off market for trying to get your first deal? I would recommend off market, but I mean, that's not to say on market is not possible. So
Right.
that's what I would say because I used to try to be on market, on market, on market. I didn't understand the power of off market. You know what I'm saying? The power of off market is it, you basically become like you got the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you know how you have like these reporters that get exclusive,
They got a scoop.
interviews. You got the exclusive like Woj. You like Woj. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got the information. You know what I'm saying? You got the inside scoop. You got the inside knowledge. You know what I'm saying? On these
Yeah,
properties. Because there's investors who want these properties. And if you the guy with the inside scoop, it's like, hey, they want more. They want more. What you got? What you got? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about off market. You know what I'm saying? It's like you basically are building like your own, market, basically. You know what I'm saying? You go on
yeah,
Zillow, everybody can see that stuff. But you got a set of stuff off to the side that's like everybody ain't got their hands on this. You know what I'm saying? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I got this exclusive stuff. So
absolutely.
that's what make off market so valuable. You know what I'm saying? That's your value right there. It's like if it's on the internet for everybody to see, why would I pay you more? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would I pay you more? Not to say you can't do on market deals. People do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? As a beginner, it's probably even harder to do on market deals, especially if you ain't got a person who doing on market deals to show you, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you set it up. This is how you add value and stuff like that. It's a lot easier to add value off market because it's like if Cordero run into this guy and he's the one that's talking to him, then he's the one that's talking to him. Doesn't matter if he brand new, experienced, or whatever. If he signs a contract with Cordero, who's brand new, who called he only called one person on the phone, and that person picked up, and they wanted to sell,
Yeah,
and they agreed to sign the contract with Cordero. He only called one person, then
yeah.
he got the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? But on that Zillow, it's millions of people looking at that every day. Like people looking at that all the time. So that's the difference, man. And at first I didn't understand the power of off market. I wish I did, but you know, that's the difference.
Yeah, man. Uh,
Scoop gonna be nice by Dane. Bro wasn't playing anyway. Yeah, Dane was hurt a lot, man. Scoop, man, dude. I actually I used to teach at a school, used to coach basketball, and we used to play against that dude team. So I used to watch it. I watched him in high school play, man. I knew he was really good, but I was like, dang, he third pick in the NBA draft good. Nah, yeah, dude, he the real deal, man. I think he a real deal for sure. But Karita said on market requires 1% earnest money, proof of funds. These realtors be on it. Yeah, the real, and then the realtors be trying to stop you. That's another thing. You go on market, you got the realtors working against you in most cases. You know what I'm saying? The realtors don't want to see them wholesalers doing them deals.
We go back and forth about. We're not even back and forth. We just talk about the realtors all the time. But to like Byron said though, you can do, and I'm sure we all can attest, it is very much possible to do deals on the market. So I think it just entirely depends because I know some people who just set their entire business model up around finding properties on market. And I knew this young dude because I was watching a Jerry Norton video because Jerry Norton do a lot of on market or whatever because he is a realtor. He's a licensed realtor, so he kind of know the lingo. He kind of know how to get in and what to look for, what to say to who. But there's this like young dude from Florida with like dreads and stuff like that. Break you, them realtors will break you and make you.
I'll tell you.
Man. But this young dude from Florida with like dreads and stuff, like he started, I think he got his first deal on market. It was like a 20 something K, 20 something pieces, something like that. And it was just like crazy. He was like 19. So it's possible. And a couple of things I remember, I would say, speaking, I guess, more in favor of the MLS, which I do off market, but speaking in favor of that, just to keep in mind, it's like the MLS. And we was just talking about this with a property that we got. It's like the ocean too at the same time. Just because it's on the MLS, the idea is that it gets more eyes on it, but it's still what millions of property on the open market at any given time.
Yeah.
And so there are properties that are sitting on there that are probably not getting the attention. Maybe they got a trash realtor. Maybe their realtor just ain't doing what they're supposed to do. They're not putting it up on all the websites. They're not even going to the showings or whatever the case is. So you can find a deal. And I think it's all about finding a buyer who's just absolutely A-okay with it. And again, finding a realtor who's A-okay with it. And if you got the means, there's definitely deals there. But I think ultimately, it also something you got to take into consideration is what's your overall goal in this business? And a big thing that I wanted to do was to be completely self-sufficient, create a self-sufficient model. And that's what Byron was talking about, was it's not just about getting the scoop or the inside deal or getting the off-market deal. It's about creating a system that can consistently do that. That's the crazy thing about it. Once you got a system that can consistently generate off-market deals, you are your own, like you said, you are your own MLS. At that point, that's the difference. It's not just about finding a deal off-market, or is it about an on-market deal versus an off-market deal? Because you can make money either way. But if you want to create your entire business model around, we know you can drop us in essentially any market that there are buyers in that are buying, and we could just find deals. And we don't need the MLS. We don't need to rely on realtors and so many other people involved, because really when you relying on realtors, it's like automatically having to JV everything you do. You gotta like involve those people. But with this, you can, as long as you got the buyer, it can be just the buyer, you, and the seller. When you doing deals on the market, it's going to be the buyer, you, the seller, the realtor, and the other realtor, the realtor's broker, and the realtor's like friends and family who have an opinion on what you can do and what you can't do and all of that. And so it's not possible, I'll say that, just for that very reason. It's like there's some property that's sitting on the MLS that there is a buyer that would buy it, but he just didn't see it because he wasn't, for whatever reason, it's not out there in front of him, even though it's sitting on the MLS. Maybe he's not filtering it, whatever. But I think if you're thinking about doing a consistent business model where you can like consistently provide value, I think figuring out a way to generate off-market deals and having that exclusive, then buyers are gonna be like, oh, this is the dude. This is the guy. He is another, he can, even if that buyer does buy properties on the MLS and flips them and invests in MLS properties, he could say, okay, that's one avenue. And then my other avenue is Byron. And then my other avenue is Cordero, and then my other avenue is Caritha, because these are all people who can generate off market deals. And most times too, it could happen, but a lot of times a deal that Byron can get, Caritha wouldn't have, even though they both in Georgia. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like that's the value. But if you are looking at on market deals, it's just like you're gonna send it to a buyer, you go like, oh, I already seen this. It
Yeah.
happened. So
A lot of times it go through the off market before we get on market. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Cordero couldn't get the guy locked up, and the guy said, "Hey man, I'm gonna go, pay. I'm gonna go get some buddies to do me some favors, and I'm gonna completely rehab my property for 5K, and I'm gonna list it with a real estate agent that's gonna do it for free." you know, they give
Hey man,
y'all
why you
all
bringing up old
those
stuff, man? Why you bringing up
lies.
old stuff?
But
Nah, that is
yeah,
true.
man, you get those people that they probably end up on the market. It's like they've already been through the off market people. The off
Hey,
market be the first one to touch these people a lot of times.
but
You know
you
what
do
I'm saying?
get on the flip side, you do get those people that done put their property on the market and got the Mike Tyson treatment. They didn't
Oh
got beat up,
yeah, you got
price
beat
drop, price
up.
drop,
So
price
they went on
drop,
that market.
price drop.
Market.
Talking about price drop.
Price drop, boom.
That's why one of the questions when I'm talking to the sellers, I mean, have you ever thought about listing it on the market? And then while I'm asking them that, I'm looking on their Zillow. I'm like, oh, good night. It was listed a year ago. They had it listed for 365 days. Price drop, price drop, price drop. I'm
They
like, no,
still don't want your job.
we don't want to go through that again. What's going on, Jamie? Shout out to Jamie. Jamie Buck.
Jamie Buck, what's up, man? They said, I appreciate y'all for the input. Exactly what you were saying about watching Jerry Norton is what got me contemplating switching from off market to on market. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, stuff work, man. I never sit there and say, oh, this don't work, that don't work. All this stuff work, man. I
Man.
just telling you what I know for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because of what I've done. I'm only gonna tell you like what I actually experienced, not what stuff I'm just hearing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I'm stuff that's actually happened. Like I've wholesale stuff that's on market. You know what I'm saying? But it's like one, you got to get it way below what's listed because it's like if somebody want to sell their property for 200,000 on the market, I get it under contract for 195, and I say, hey Cordero Cash Buy, hey, you want to buy this for 200?
no,
It's
it's
like
already listed and not selling for 200.
it's like the first thing they do when you send them the property, they Google it. It pop up on it. Oh, dang, this is on the market. You know, it's
Only
like
on the
so,
market, and
so
it's
I can
already not selling for this number right here.
exactly. So I can call them myself and get it at a price. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got an exclusive, that's what I'm saying. If the wholesaler value is that you got the property at an exclusive price. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't go somewhere else and get this property at this price. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like so if they got a list for 200, and then you go to them and say, "Hey man, I got this for 120." It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, hey, you might be able to wholesale that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like you
yeah,
got it at a way lower price. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And the buyer also may be looking for like value add, like they got it listed as is for 200, and then you got it for 120. They were like, for 120, I could buy it at 130, put some money into it, then relist it for 215 or 210 or something like that. Now we in business if they got value add. But to your point, bro, what I would say is whether you said switching from off market to on market, whichever one you do, it's about the consistency. It's
Yeah,
like pick a lane and hit it. Pick a lane and hit it and stay with it too, man. And
yeah,
so if you're gonna stay off market, there's many strategies. If you're gonna go on market, there's strategies, but you're gonna have the most success. You're gonna be successful either way, is what we're saying. We can just only speak from my personal experience, but I know you're gonna have the most success is by picking one and sticking with it. Cause we were just talking about like really how long it took us. I think it took me like 9 months to get my first deal. And then a whole year after that, you know what I mean? It's just like in order to you got to figure out the consistency because there's going to be like a learning curve of something you got to figure out that you just not doing right in the beginning. Because nobody, when they first start doing something in any way or capacity, is good at it, has mastered it from the beginning. You
And
got
I
to like,
think, yeah, no doubt. And I think, like even for me, like
yeah,
I learned most of the stuff from like internet, YouTube, but still, it wasn't until I ran into the right person. I ran into the right person who had already done a deal, who was already doing deals. That's when
right.
I was able to do a deal. Like a lot of times, that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people sit there and say, "Oh, I was doing this and I ran and I figured this out and I figured that out." It's like, dude, most of these people ran into somebody who was already doing deals, who had done a deal, and they were able to. That person was able to give them a little bit of game to get
Yeah,
them to where they needed to be. A little bit of showing them a way. I'm
yeah.
telling you, man, it take you a long way. You know what I'm saying? The people who
That's
trying to get
exactly what happened
started,
to me.
they watching these people on YouTube telling their story about how they did everything on their own and nobody helped me. I learned everything off the It's like, dude, don't be falling for that. Don't be bull crap. They be what Shannon Sharp, you say they be bull jiving. They just be talking, man. They try to get them views up. They ain't telling the truth.
They're not speaking, and I think for a lot of people is when you get connected with a, that was what changed it for me. Like I said, it took me 9 months to get my first deal, then it was full calendar year after that. When I start after that, it was like I was getting deal after deal after deal. What's up, Keaton, man? And what's up, Anita?
Gotta shout out Big K, man. Anytime he coming through, man. He the
Shout out,
godfather, man.
shout out to Big Dog Keaton, and shout out to Anita, man. Hi.
Yeah, no doubt.
But when I found when it was, I was at like a little networking event, and everybody was in there talking about real estate. They was pitching their ideas and just blowing smoke. But it was one dude off in the corner who said, "Man, he said, no, I've done. I think he said he did like 3 or 4 wholesale deals." And I was like, "Hold on, you actually did a wholesale deal?" And it
Yeah.
was like, I met a dude not on YouTube, not on TV, but I met a real person in the flesh that done multiple wholesale deals. I was like, "Oh, it's over." I got his number. We linked up. He put me on, and like from there, we just took off, and we just had like a crazy run and just doing deal after deal. But it was like, you know what? The thing that he showed me was it was the dialer. I was still hand dialing and handwriting everything and like that. He showed me the dialer, but it was because I met somebody who had some game, some pool.
Yeah.
But you know, stay consistent in whatever direction you going in, dog. And just like stay consistent and get over those learning curves, because that's really what, when you think I'm gonna jump out of my lane, when you see, oh, they having success over there, it's like it seems like they're having more success doing on market deals. I've been trying for 3 months to get my off market deal. It ain't working, but they having success doing on market deals. You could have been one day away from getting your off market deal, but you switched up strategy right there.
Exactly, dude. I remember sitting there texting people, and I was like, man, this junk ain't really gonna work. So I was like, shoot, man, I can't keep texting these people like this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm reloading the text thing, reloading it on batch because you got to put more money on it. Man, I was like, let me. I was like, dang, kid, Maxwell, there was coming out deals. Then the follow up. I mean, I done followed up with these people a million times, but then I was like, let me go back and hit them again. So I just went back and hit jokers again. And like you said, man, you never know, that next day, boom, there we go. That's what happened. I hit people back. Dude's like, man, I already told you I ain't selling my property, but I do got one you can buy real quick. That's exactly the words he said, man. I do got one you can buy real quick. Ooh, woo! That was that 30 ball.
That's crazy. That's crazy right there. And just like, and I would just, man, most people, you quit before the miracle happens. You quit before, and I'm just speaking to you, bro. I'm not saying that you just thinking about throwing in the towel or completely.
Talking about people in general, including myself. You know,
hey, I'm pretty sure all of us had that challenge. And as a matter of fact, I heard this: the more you grow, there'll be more bigger and bigger opportunities that you got to learn to say no to. There'll be like, it's the shiny object syndrome. You're like, oh my goodness, there's so many things, especially in real estate. Because
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, man, if I say, oh, I'm doing real estate, that's like saying, oh, I play sports. It's like, what
Yeah.
does that mean? You know what I mean? And so you got to learn to say no to as many opportunities. That's what I'm saying. Like MLS or on market deals, yes, they do work. But if you started 3 months ago working on off market, and this is just my humble opinion, you probably should stay where you at and keep pushing through right here because it's like a learning curve. And I saw this video of Alex Hermosi talk about it, but it's like a principle just in general where they talk about the I guess it's the 5 stages of any business, but it's really the 5 stages of anything you do. The 5 stages of creating a song or creating great artwork. The beginning is uh, um, was it optimism, uninformed optimism. You happy in the beginning, you got your energy levels are so high. You're like, man, I just saw a video of this and I'm gonna get my first 30K deal. And then the next thing is informed pessimism. Cause now you realize, oh, this really ain't what I thought it was. And I'm just realizing it's actually harder, or I gotta text more people than I thought. And then after that is the valley of despair, where it's just like because you got the negative mindset on it and you still don't know what to do. It's like just you taking L's. It's just like very tough. You
Man,
know,
I was taking some L's, dude. I remember
man,
I got like 4 or 5 properties under contract. Every one of them fell through. I was taking L after L after L after L. I was like, man, I was like, dude, I'm doing something wrong. And I actually was doing something wrong, to be honest with you, though. I
exactly.
was I was looking for first of all, I was looking for multifamily properties, right? Second thing I was doing was trying to do it for free. I was walking to California. That's what I was doing. I was trying to do stuff for free, man. You
Yeah,
know, that was the wrong thing. I was thinking because I was into multifamily, like I like multifamily personally, like that's what I want to do,
yeah,
that I needed to wholesale multifamily. And I was like, no, man.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
you gotta do that. Like, go over here and wholesale these single families. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
And make this money. You know what I'm saying? So,
And make that, yeah, exactly.
and then pay. Like, I started, like, that was before I started really just paying for like skip tracing, for text services and stuff like that. I had to sit there and think to myself, it's like, dude, what if I'm wrong? It's
Yeah,
like, what if these people are right? That's telling me you need to pay for this and pay for that, and pay for that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so against like, oh, free, do it free. I just wholesale made 30K for free. I spent $10 and made 50K. You a darn lie. It's like, you a lie, man. Let's stop telling people this stuff. It's like you gonna have you out here trying to do stuff for free and ain't gonna never do a deal. Ain't ever gonna do a deal.
yeah. They wording it away because I think those folks is trying to get views. They're less concerned about giving you the real information. But it's just like to that point, right there, when you hit the valley of despair, when you taking L after L after L, that's where most people switch off and be like, oh, this ain't working. Let me go to the next opportunity. But
Yeah.
if you stick with it after the valley of despair, where you're taking a lot of L's, it's like then you get into where you was at, and which is informed optimism. Now you're like, now you figured it out. Like maybe I do need to pay. And if I pay, and if I would just so happen to invest money, I might be able to do something. And then you stick it out, then you get to success after that. After the informed optimism, you start to come back up. And it's just like, okay, now I realize I paid. I still had to put in a little bit of faith in. So it's coming up out of the valley of despair. And now I hit success when I got this 30K. But you was doing it wrong in the beginning. At first, you was just like, I'm gonna get started, zero money, zero effort,
Zero money.
zero, sleep. I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna try. I'm just gonna walk out my front door and say, hey, I want a deal, and I'm gonna get a deal. And it's just like, then you realize that stuff ain't gonna work. But then, you keep trying to expect it to work how you want it to instead of adapting to what needs to be done. Then when you do that and make that switch, that's when you go. So I would say, man, don't jump off. Don't switch to something else. Don't go to MLS because you ain't got to put up as much money. You could just call free realtors. It's like, nah, stick with it, dog. Whatever you started with, stick with it, and you're gonna get that first deal, man. You're gonna get that first deal, and then you have to split it with me and Byron because we gave you the advice. You know what I mean?
So as I said, I watched Byron for a while now, seeing you on Flipman show. That's what's up. Um, it keeps me going watching you grow. Yeah, no doubt, man. Man, it's been crazy for sure. It's been crazy. I made my first video in my apartment, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, it was crazy. So Zay said, been chasing that first deal. I ain't stopping. Yeah, no doubt, man. Keep going. So Anita said, master one strategy
Yeah,
before moving on to the next one. Yeah, for sure. Big K up in this thing, man. You know he own it. He ain't gonna let you rest.
man.
Consistency, discipline, focus are the key to this business. No
To
doubt, man. That's
anything,
life.
to
That's
any
the life.
business,
Not even
to
business.
life.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Consistency.
Period.
Consistency is life struggle, dude. It's like
Yeah,
everybody know what to do.
yeah,
It's like everybody know what to do. They know what to do. The problem is doing. That's the problem. It's
yeah,
like, dude, the problem is doing. Everybody like they know what to do to reach their goals. Most goals, people
yeah,
know what to do. And if they don't know what to do, they know how to figure out what to do. It
yeah.
ain't, it ain't, it ain't the figuring it out. We got Google. Google, man, it's like,
Literally, age of information.
dude, age of information. You can get the, you can go find videos of Warren Buffett talking like there's no way back in the day that people could go even see or hear anything that John D. Rockefeller ever said.
Real
Like the
time.
people that lived in that time, they had no
Real
chance to
talk.
hear these people. You can actually go hear these people talk, and they tell you like they
Doing.
talking about what they doing. It's
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. You got all these people out here talking about what they doing, telling you, oh, I did this, and telling them this. It's so many people out here telling you the way. It's
yeah.
like, man, you can figure out how to get where you're going. The
It's
question
just
is, do
doing
you
it.
really want to do it? I used to tell Joker that it's like, man, we could do this marketing, we can do this to get a deal. It's like it's not a question of if we can do it and if it'll work. The question is, will you do it? It's like, will you actually do it? Can you get a deal in 30 days? Yeah, you can. Will
Yeah,
you do what it takes? Hey man, can I get this? Yeah, you can get a deal in 30 days. Are you willing to do what it takes?
yeah,
Most people answer is no. It's like,
yeah, man.
the answer would be yes coming out your mouth until I tell you, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah,
What
man.
Eric Thomas say? Everybody want to be beats, so it's time to do what beats do. It's like-
What they say in what is it? The Marines. Everybody want to go to heaven. Don't nobody want to die. And
exactly.
And then it just come down, like you said, just to put like doing and getting around. What you'll notice is people will do that creative avoidance. Is what I think that's what they call it. Creative avoidance. It's like to get a deal, you need to be talking to homeowners, but instead you be like, well, I gotta set up my this and I gotta do that and I gotta do this and that. You know what? I can't get a deal unless I set up my Facebook account. It's like, bro, go call some people. Quit playing and call some people. Like, cut it out. You know what you got to do. Pick up the phone. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Did y'all have that commercial in Georgia, bro? It was like a dude with his hat to the side, and he was just like, "You spend all day on the phone anyhow. You need to
Yeah.
go back to college." Y'all had that dude.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how I'm
yeah.
gonna start being with y'all, man. It's just like creative avoidance, but like when it come down to doing it, I remember I had some people joining my team, and I was just like, man, we could do this. I'm trying to get this, and I'm trying. These are my goals, and bringing you onto the team could help me. And they was just like, well, how long would it take? I'm like, well, that entirely depends on how much work you're gonna put in. Saying we could do this by the end of the week,
Yeah.
honestly, if
To
we
be
make
honest, because you gotta think, man, we jumped on smarter contact.
yeah
What? Our
a
full
week
first
ago,
full week was last week.
a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago. You know what I'm saying? We already got a deal. Like,
Nah,
it's
and
like
then some change, really,
that's what I'm saying. You,
real.
you can get a deal in a week, man. You can get a deal in a week. Are you willing to put in? It's like,
Exactly,
are you
exactly.
willing to put in? It's like you gotta be willing to put in, man. Keith said it took him 9 months. But once I closed my first and never looked back, man. That's what it's about, man. It's like, dude, you got to be willing to put in, man. You got
man.
to be willing to put in. You
And
know,
you gotta get rid of doubt, man. And I was watching Tony Robbins, and he was talking about like what's the number one thing that the holy grail of people who take action and who don't take action? It's certainty. It's like you got to be certain that it's possible. That's what I was trying to tell some folks when they were just like, man, but what if you don't have $200 for the dialer? It ain't that you don't have $200. It's that you don't believe that it's possible. Because it's just like, dog, it's like if you believe that you could really go out there, get on the dialer and get you a deal, then you be like, man, get you ask anybody for $200. Mama, let me borrow $200. I'm gonna get it back to you when I close this deal. If you were certain that a deal was gonna come back to you. So it's
yeah,
about certainty. So whatever you got to do, you got to get rid of doubt. Whether that's watching these videos. I remember when I was so I talk about this all the time. I had partners. I started working with them, and I was just like, okay, I got to go solo. I got to do everything on my own, and I'm just about to go full blast. I was watching Byron's lives, which is crazy. I was watching these lives. Like I'm talking about from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And I wasn't doing nothing but working because watching Byron talk about what he was doing, and I knew he knew he was talking about, but it was just like it like gave me like
it's like this dude can't be he can't be not he got to be doing this because he just sitting in the dark room talking about how
nah,
he
because I knew what you was talking about. Like I had done enough to know, like, proof of concept. What the information he's talking about is real from my
yeah.
experience. But it's like the really wasn't the question was Byron doing is like, can I now do it? Am I
Yeah.
going to do it? And but that was how I was manufacturing certainty was by listening to him. Like I couldn't literally like what I'm trying to tell you is I couldn't listen to no music. I couldn't even give myself 5 minutes to go listen to songs. I couldn't go watch no TV. I couldn't do nothing. I had to keep my mind in a state of certainty that this is possible. This is going to happen. So I was listening to all of Byron's lives all day. Cut one off, put the next one on. Cut one off, watch that same one over and over again. If he had a live in the whole like if I was gonna wake up Monday, I was like, okay, the first thing I need to do is find a buyer. So he had a video that was how do you find buyers? I watched that video over and over that whole day. I woke up and I would just all I would do was pause the video, call a buyer. Okay, call a couple of buyers. And then while I'm not dialing or talking to a buyer, I got the video playing. That's how I kept manufactured a sense of certainty. I'm like, as long as I'm listening to somebody who's actually doing it, he doing 100K months and all of this stuff. I'm like, as long as I'm listening to what he's talking about, I'm constantly feeding my mind. I feel more certain than ever. That gives me the confidence. But if I'm watching TV or something like that, watching cartoons or listening to a song or even reading a nice book that I might like to read, I'm pulling myself out of that certainty. Listen, even if you don't even got to go that far out of the bounds, even if I'm not watching Byron and I switch over to watch Jerry Norton, that's enough far because Jerry Norton's talking about on-market deals. So that's conflicting data that's I'm downloading in my head. I need to be certain in a certain direction too. And so that's why I didn't just watch a whole bunch of different videos. I would pick one video and I would watch that one video all day long because I had to manufacture certainty.
Yeah.
So you got to be certain.
I went in on Flip Man for sure. I went in on Flip Man.
That's because you didn't have REI.
Again, I'm like, dude, I'm going in on Flip Man, dude.
Yeah, man. You didn't have REI next door. You know what I mean?
You are stupid, man. Yeah, I went in on Flip Man for sure. But I will tell you this, man. I don't even know if I had 100% certainty that I could do a deal. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have 100% certainty it was going to close. What I had,
oh my goodness, yes,
dude,
sir.
what I had 100% certainty on is something got to happen. Like this got to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I had 100% certainty that I was going to make something happen. Like, and I got to make it happen now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, once you get to that point where it's like, dude, what Eric Thomas said, you want it bad as you want to breathe. It's like some people say they want it, but they don't really want it. They just kind of want it. It's like, you can't kind of want it. It got to be to the point where it's like, dude, nah, it's over, man. Like, I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like, when it was like, okay, $100 prop screen, boom, nope. Like, I got to make it happen. It wasn't no, oh man, this right here, nah, I can't do that. Oh, nah, I ain't got enough money for that. I gotta wait to, nah, dude, I need this much, man.
Never mind what you don't have and what you
Hey,
can't.
man, I'm finna go ahead and deliver these amount of pieces. Hey, can I work this many hours today? Hey,
Yeah.
can I work these extra hours? Cause I gotta deliver this. I need to work this many hours to get this much money to do this. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You know, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's not an option. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else.
Listen, I think you was certain something was gonna happen.
Oh yeah, something had happened.
Something's
Something.
gonna happen. I'm gonna make something happen, and that was what you were certain of. But that really boils down to what you always talk about is being obsessed. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
when you become obsessed, what that breeds is a mindset of like you always in it, and you always like this guy. Because I was at a place too, I was just like, man, I'm not doing this. Like some got that off market
yeah.
all day.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Rolex. What's up, Rolex? Oh,
man.
good now.
You got to
Guilty. I done creative avoidance, no doubt, man.
man. Hey Zay, I've been there. That's how when somebody said it, it hit me so hard because I was like, because you get you notice how really creative folks get when you say you got a call. Man, I had people just down because they didn't downright argue with me. I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, the one thing that matters is talking to people. And they was like, yeah, but I gotta make sure my shirt nice, and you gotta make sure you got a suit, and you gotta make sure you got a watch. Dog, talk to
And if
people.
you ain't got this secret script down yet, you don't need to be talking to nobody.
Yeah. If you ain't mastered it, if you ain't got it, I gotta make sure I watch all the videos first
And I
before
gotta
I
make sure I got the script down. If I can't talk to the seller like this and all, it's like, dude,
nah,
man,
dog. I
don't
done
be
been on that side of the coin, and it wasn't until, like I said, I was in a place where I was just like, I gotta make it work. So I had to force or manufacture certainty. Um, and so I just had to make it work. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man.
taking all. Hey, shoot, hey. I mean, I was in the same spot. I tell people like, dude, what 3 years ago, I
Yeah,
was watching videos working at Papa John's. You know what I'm saying? It's like you imagine 3 years from now, your life completely changed. You ain't working your job no more. You done moved to a whole nother place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, things could change quick, man. That's the thing. Like, I didn't sit here and just do this overnight. It's like, dude, it was 8 years of watching videos like this, of
yeah.
listening to books, of just listening to podcasts. Like, dude, I listened to like 300 Bigger Pockets podcasts before I did one deal. It's
The
like,
whole thing. Talk about creative
I
avoidance.
talk over and over and over again too. It's like I can go back and listen to those episodes now and just know what's gonna be said because I've listened to each episode over and over and over
Been
and
there.
over. Like,
Been
dude, it
there.
8 years of just listening to stuff, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, and never doing a deal. It's like, and then you gotta just bam decide. You know what I'm saying? It's like boom, and it just explodes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't matter where you are right now. It only matters when are you going to say it gotta happen.
It just gotta happen. And like we say, man, it's just like a lot of times life, the reason why you ain't got there is because your back ain't absolutely against the wall. But that's where I was. And that's what, I guess I failed to mention that part in the whole situation was like, I was in that because I was absolutely scared to cut Byron's video, like the lives off. Cause I was like, Doc, I gotta make this happen. Like I gotta make this happen and I gotta figure it out. And I gotta start doing 10K a month immediately. I gotta start doing 100K a month immediately. And I don't, just where I was at in my life and just trying to like figure it out. It was like the moment I cut that off, I was out of the zone. So it's just like you gotta be obsessed with it. You gotta be in the zone, but something gotta click in your mind to say go. So it's just like a number of things. But once you get there, you gonna know you there because it's not gonna be about your creative way to get out of doing the work. It's not even gonna be about, you're not gonna be thinking of, oh man, I gotta make these calls. You're gonna be thinking, okay, I'm glad I get to make calls. I'm glad I got a dialer. I can make unlimited calls. That's what I want.
Yeah, or it's like I ain't got no option, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no alternative.
Yeah.
It's like it was like
It's literally,
it's like I don't want to make these calls, but it's like they gotta meet, like I gotta do it. You
I
know?
went from thinking, oh man, I got to make these calls to, man, I'm glad I can just keep making calls all day long because the more calls I make, the closer I am to a deal. So I'm like not thinking, oh, another call. I'm like, oh no, okay, thank you. I know I need to get 150 no's before I get one yes. Thank you for that no. I'm a step closer. Like it changed because I was just focused on getting the deal. You know what I mean? And then when I finally got somebody to say, yeah, I wasn't scared, like, oh my God, now I actually got to send them over a contract. What I'm gonna do, I'm like, man, let me figure out how to send them over a contract now. Let me figure out how to get the buyer into the property now, yada, yada, yada. But, Anita, you can do it. You can do it, Anita.
Yeah, for sure. Wu-Tang, I'm looking to hire a cold caller. What's a good site? I use onlinejobs.ph. That's what I use.
Yeah.
I know Cordero been cold call hunting.
Find a VA. Also, honestly, too, man, I've had some really good VAs from one VA that I had for the longest. She worked with me for years. She will recommend VAs to me, and I get some good people from her too. But
Yeah.
a consistent way is online jobs, or it depends on what your budget is, man. It's just like I'm thinking about like still adding CRI or one of like outsourcing the cold calling where you just pay them and you don't have to buy the dollar. You just give them the list and you pay them, and then they'll manage the cold caller and all of that. And they'll just give you, they guarantee you 2 leads a day. So that's thinking more like who, not how, in that situation. But yeah, man, online jobs.
Yeah, onlinejobs.ph for sure. So wow, this is great. Yeah, no doubt, man. We just on here going in, man. We real this is what we do, man. We in it for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of that, man, hey, I don't know what we're gonna do with antifreeze, man. I don't know what we're gonna do with antifreeze, man. So we started texting like a week ago on Smarter Contact. We started like the Friday before, but last week was our first full week. And shoot, man, we've been getting some leads like crazy though. Like some good leads, people who looking to sell. We got a deal. Like in 1 week, we got a deal, 30 ball.
Man, we got a deal and some change, man. Byron talking about antifreeze. I'm talking about this old dude.
Yeah. Hey, did you talk to that real estate agent?
No, he told me it would be later on in the evening, in the afternoon. He would call me back.
Yeah, we get him another 30 ball.
That's gonna be woo. That's gonna be nothing.
If we can get a 30 ball every week, 130 ball every week.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy though, dude. For real.
I'm gonna tell you, like my grandma would tell me.
Hit Clarksville, dude. We'd hit Clarksville, man. Ain't no telling what would have came out of that thing.
When we yeah, you feel me? When we hit Clarksville,
Hey, did you get that 10 DLC straightened
out? I got the website and everything sent in. They just sorry.
So like when you set up Smarter Contact, man, I guess all these text platforms, you got to have like an EIN and go do 10 DLC registration. What does that mean again, Cordero?
10 DLCs is just 10 digit long code. It just means phone number. It's like the I guess technical way to say a phone number, like your area code.
Yeah, but they attach it to your EIN. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
your EIN, and
it registers it with the carriers, and that's the whole point of the 10 DLC is to register with the carriers, because T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they're the ones who kind of determine they got to determine a balance between the text messages getting sent, because that's where they make money at. Text messages getting sent, and then the overall experience for the user. So it's like, yeah, we want our text message to get sent perfectly, but we don't want our users getting spammed, because none of us want, oh, hey, we got your car warranty for a car you don't even have, your old folks assistant. They keep calling me or texting me asking me about Tamika. I know everything about this lady named Tamika. When she get a new loan, when she
I ain't getting text messages yet though.
You know what I mean? It's just like, but so they want to create a balance. The carriers want to make sure they're blocking all the trash and letting the real stuff go through. So the carriers, this is from what I'm learning, and I was just checking out the podcast with the real estate disruptors, where the guy from Launch Control was talking about it, and the carriers, they're not necessarily against us reaching out to people. They just want to make sure that we're not just spamming people, essentially, basically. And when you register for 10DLC, you're letting the carrier know, hey, this is my phone number. This number and the text message that come and go from this number will be from this avenue, so they can monitor, like, okay, everything that comes from Cordero's LLC or from Byron's company, this is how many texts, this is the type of traffic that they're getting, this is the type of feedback that they're getting. Do we need to shut him down, yay or nay? And so ultimately, that's why they're doing this registration now, because
And they were saying, like, if they decide to shut Cordero LLC down, you can't text nowhere. Like, you go to Launch Control, they still got that EIN attached to you. You know, use the same one, just shut down.
Yeah. And that's so that if I'm blowing it up and I'm doing poor text practices, then Smarter Contact won't get slapped on the wrist for it. It's going to make sure that it identifies my text messages solely to my company. And Smarter Contact is just like, it's like if I'm texting people, you could cut off my phone number, but you won't cut off all iPhone. You're not going to shut down all the Apple, right? And so it's just like, that's the whole reason for the 10 DLC registration. But you shouldn't have nothing to worry about, though. You know what I mean? It's here. I mean, 13 years old, I want to. Man.
Well, 13 years old, I want to start making money. What you think, man? I guess you could have figured out.
Nah, you can definitely figure out. Like, Richard. His son wholesaling or whatever. Just like, you might need to, if this is the avenue you want to start making money on, I would just say make sure that you informed. Obviously, make sure you got an adult with you, and also that person can help you do certain things. Like, maybe you got to open up an LLC, and your LLC can make money, but Yasin, it can't necessarily. So like, they can help you open up an LLC or do whatever you got to do, but just making sure that you safe and not getting hurt anything you do. But I mean,
I was just
at 13, dog, get you a lemonade stand, dog.
Get you a lemonade stand, man. Start making some money.
Yeah.
And then go buy you some leads, man. Go ahead and start hitting some people up.
Real talk, man.
Man, you can put somebody who older on game. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, hey, y'all partnered up. They may have to put their name on stuff and stuff like that. But it's like, you can definitely help. You know what I'm saying? So
too. And also, like we said, even if you wasn't just 13, homie, if you was a 23, I would tell you, like we said earlier, was go work with somebody or go link up or squad up with somebody who's a little bit further along, who can give you perspective. Maybe now is a good time. You starting early enough that you can like work with or work for somebody, and maybe they need you to go put out the bandit signs, and in exchange they might give you some money, or also they'll give you understanding, and you'll get a better understanding of the business. And that's where, because I started real young too, and just trying to figure stuff out. And I remember telling myself in the beginning, sometimes you got to work to learn, not just to earn. And so you want to start off making money right away, but there's so much that you got to learn, man. At 13, there's so much you got to learn about life and just understanding. And I had to understand, it's like, how you going to talk to a seller if you don't really just understand how to talk to people? And that's not a knock on you, because I didn't understand that. And that's why, like, I've gotten so good with talking to sellers, because over time I realized, like, it's about understanding people, and I've been through life experiences that I can kind of understand what they're going through. So just work to learn in the beginning, I would say, and then the money will come. Work to learn and learn how to provide value, man. You'll get it. Just keep watching these videos.
No doubt, for sure. But man,
that's crazy. That's crazy that you reached out.
Do what that?
Hey, shout out to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You'll make money soon enough. And it's crazy. I did not expect. Byron got all type of people on this mud.
Yeah, man. Crazy amount of people on this thing, man, for sure. But yeah, man. Shoot, how long we been on this thing?
59 minutes. An hour.
Woo.
It's crazy.
Thing for a little minute, man. But shoot, I think we can call. I was thinking about calling maybe calling some people out in Texas. We got this property under contract. We're trying to see if we can find some investors who might be interested. Um, shoot, hit some people up, see what they talking about, man.
Now Byron's
Um,
better at talking to buyers than I am at talking to sellers.
man, whatever, dude. I just be talking. I just be talking, dude.
Hey man, when they come to the buyer, it could be any buyer on the planet. As soon as Byron called, they answer the phone first ring.
Nah, nah.
They
That
answer
dude
first
talking
ring,
crazy.
and if you tell a price, they say, "Yes, sir, Byron. We can do 5 more K than that." You know,
Nah, dude. So what I do, man, I go ahead and look for property that might be flipped. You know,
yeah.
this definitely don't necessarily look flipped. They got a TV in this mug. This don't look flipped. Don't like what I'm looking for. They got seats out front. It's like, dude, why if you got TV in here and got stuff? Nah, that ain't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stuff that's like cleared out. You know what I'm saying? Straight flip property. And shoot, oh man, this one I'm talking about right here, but this look like this might be new though. Like new.
When was it built?
Yeah, like, oh no, it ain't 1962, but man,
1962.
dude, look at the quality. Well, the outside don't look that great, but
Hey, the outside look like they got that LP on it or something.
that brick. But dang, that's a nice little view right there. They
Somebody
got
need to do.
professional photography. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, they put their foot off in that one. I ain't gonna lie.
For a property built in 1962,
Did that
they
time.
looking good though.
I would stay there.
It's like, man, shoot. Let's see if they well in Texas, that's right. In Texas, they ain't gonna show you what nothing have no records or nothing like that. But they try to rent this mug or something. Seems like they may have been trying to sell it for a long time. So that's probably not what I'm looking for. Shoot, this area right here might just not be like a flipping area, to be honest with you. Yes, some areas it's more like for flippers, some areas not.
More like for rental property and stuff like that.
Yeah, hey, people don't really be buying like that over there. At least,
Yeah, I just don't know if with Texas being a non-disclosure state, if using the Zillow strategy and like just getting on Zillow is like the easiest way to do this.
yeah, it might not be, but shoot, I think you can still find some people like this right here. It's ridiculous, man. You kidding me? Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, this person probably. I just want to get on here and call some people.
Man,
See
hey, they going in on these flips
for
in
sure.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Dude, he ain't got his phone number up here. Do you want anybody to call him?
Hey man, but Google
Oh,
him.
there he is. That's fun. That is his phone number right there. Oh,
He said, "Does he want any new business?"
dude, man. Let me call this guy, man. See if he'll pick up. Let's see. Let's see what he's talking about right here.
Hello,
Hey, Dennis.
this is Dennis.
Hey, my name is Byron Scott. I was calling because you had a property listed over off Melinda Lane in Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
I was just calling because I got a property in that area that I'm purchasing. I was kind of looking to, maybe flip it or maybe hand it off to another investor. Are you working with an investor on this property that might be looking to buy more cash and buy more properties cash?
Yes, I
Okay. Um, and I see it was like a 3-2, 1,800 square feet. Mine is about the same thing. Um, how do I go about getting you over a property that so you can look at it and see if you might be interested in it?
am. You just have to send me the information.
Uh,
And send me a price and what you want for it.
okay. Would you like it through text or email?
I mean, either way.
Okay. Okay. What's your email address? What's the best email address for you? Do what?
What street is it on?
So it's on Meadow Creek.
Is it on the what side of the street? Is it
Meadow Court. I'm sorry.
Is it on the same side over there by the golf course or the other side?
Same side by the golf course.
Okay. And what's the price on it? What you trying to sell it for?
Well, I hadn't determined exactly what price I'm selling it for. Just kind of going through a little due diligence period. I've done a few deals in the area, but not in this part of Fort Worth. I'm actually in Atlanta, Georgia. I did a deal in Fort Worth, but not on this side, so not as familiar. And I'm just trying to keep all my options open so I can get out of this thing if I need to. Um, but I can send you all the information though, so you can kind of let me know where you guys would be or whatever.
Yeah, just let me know because the area now is going. It just lets you know they're dumping. All the investors are dumping over there, so the values are decreasing. So that's kind of like what happened to us with that when we under contract with pending. But a lot of investors bought properties in that area and they're dumping. Man. So still a good area, but they're dumping. The value is not there where it was. But everybody's dumping and selling them for cheaper. They're trying to get rid of stuff before the fourth quarter ends, and they're just dumping now. So that's what it is in that area. But send it to me, and I'll let you know. But I just wanted to let you know that.
Gotcha. And I appreciate your insight.
You got to get a good deal now. So if you're buying something, you're trying to wholesale, you may want to try to crumple 10 more thousand because it's a dumping season over there now.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Definitely understand. I appreciate your insight for sure. I'm just kind of learning the Fort Worth market. What's your email though? I didn't get your email.
It's gonna be Miller.
Okay.
Realtors with an S, Miller Realtors @gmail.com.
Okay. @gmail.com. All right. I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate you taking my call and talking with me. I'm going to send that over to you. Just let me know what you think. All right. Thank you. Bye. There you go, man. Found a guy, work with investors, you send them properties. And what I would do is because I got a property, I could send them a property. But what I would do is if I didn't have property, I'd just ask him, hey, I see you bought the 1,800 square feet. Is that about what he usually like to buy? I would just ask him more about what he usually likes to buy, But yeah, man, call usually goes about like that. It's
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's how calls usually go, man. Y'all got questions, just let me know. Y'all dropped some good knowledge today. What you think, Cordero?
Hey man, I told you when Byron called.
This dude leave comments. Oh, he on the line, so you got to be the only dude that's on the line that'll leave a comment.
I thought I'd be the only one to do that. By the way, I was like, can I do that? But I respect his, obviously his professional opinion. You see these price cuts, but he talking about just it's a dumping. I've been talking to a lot of realtors, and it just depends. And I want to say this: when people talk about the real estate market, it's not one thing. It's like each city, each neighborhood is its own market. And as you notice, that's why he was like, what side is it? Is it on the side by the golf course or whatever? But I'm wondering if we called 4 more, 2 or 3 more other realtors, would they all be like, oh man,
it's dumping season?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't just
man.
He just like, and that goes back to what me and Byron talk about. Is maybe you call somebody and you talking about making some money or getting them some money in some type of way, and they get to talking about what you can't do or what can't be done and what's this and that and this and that. It's like, dog, what can we do, dog? I want to hear what you can make happen instead of you telling me what can't happen or whatever. So I just be like, yeah, whatever. But homes are still selling, and people still need to live in places. So But yeah, like I said, man, they're gonna answer when buyer, and that's pretty much the whole. I like calling to talk to the realtors though, because also too, in that case, you get more perspective from talking with realtors, which is again, man, we already got somebody, off like almost like a 30K, you know what I mean? But it's just like, and we do got a really good deal as well and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't realize how good deal is.
He ain't asked none of that though. He takes out his
talking to somebody seriously though. If I was talking to somebody, he probably think, "Oh, this dude just don't know what he's doing." He just, that happens a lot of times. Like that's a serious thing. If people don't know what they're doing, they call you, and it's like, "Man, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna send me a property, and this price is gonna be ridiculous."
Yeah. But again, he trying to figure out how not to, make something work. He's looking at how it's not going to work. It's like, you already come, because even I'm willing to bet, even if we was to find a buyer, he could find a buyer for a good deal. He gonna have a problem with it. He gonna have a problem with us making money, and he losing money on some of his other deals. He gonna be like, man, y'all got too much of a spread on this. We gotta dump it. It's dump. We gonna dump it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Let's get it.
So here go another one, man. You want to call another one?
You want me to call her?
No. I'm finna call her.
Yeah, man. Call me. Go ahead.
All right, let's
Janelle. Hold on. What's the name?
Janelle.
See, I be hating when it's a person and I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to pronounce their name. I'm already lose.
I'm gonna hit that Cordero though. Here we go. Watch this.
I'm gonna hit you first ring.
Your call has been forwarded to an.
Well, they ain't pick up. I'm gonna hit that Cordero on them. Janelle. Yeah. I don't even know if I was in the right place. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Hey, honestly, too, if I'm in a dialer, if I'm just following up or whatever I'm doing, I'll say, and if I feel like I say the name wrong, I'm way past the stage where I'll just try to if I said your name wrong, I'm just trying to pretend like I'll let them know, like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I saying your name wrong? Like Yasin, is it Yasin or Yasin? And then we got Sarah Day. Is it Sarah or Sarai? Is it Sarai? Is that how you say it? You know what I mean? Like I would just ask, like, how should I say this? You know what I mean? So I'm waiting.
Look at these people. They got flavor.
And you know what? These folks is putting their feet, ankles in these flips, man. Goodness, I ain't never seen that back. That
over here at Fort Worth, man.
That tile in the bathroom. That's real nice.
Dude, it's crazy. Bunch of
I just want to make a point. Like I was saying, it's like not all markets are the same. So even if Fort Worth was going, that don't mean that Orlando, Florida is doing the same thing. That don't mean that Phoenix, Arizona is doing, you know what I mean? And so it's just like,
ooh, this thing looking good. Let me see what they talking about.
And if Fort Worth, Texas was shooting through the roof, the prices are climbing by the second.
Please press 8 for our company directory.
Oh man, you done got the brokerage.
Please enter the first few letters of the person's first or last name, followed by pound. To exit from the name directory, press star. Mark where. To accept a selection, press 1. To hear the next matching name, press 2. To start, Marsha Holder. To accept a selection, press extension 7013. To accept a selection, press 1. To hear the Maria Navarro. To accept a selection, press 1. To hear the please hold while your call is transferred to Maria Navarro. Maria Navarro.
Oh man, these people don't want no business,
Number
man.
brief message.
What Cordero say? You gotta always be in the right spot.
Real talk, man. You got a whole problem. You calling them with money. It's like you're not calling them like you got a deal, a deeply discounted property, and everything. It's like, and they not answering the phone. Crazy. Man, Byron, you think that ever happened? You think they ever call Open Resi with some money? And
Oh no, dude, they did answer the phone, man. I'm definitely trying to get rid of whoever ain't answering the phone. That's one of my pet peeves, man.
somebody calling you with a deal, and but that just goes to show that small little snippet. He called 3 people, but he hand dialed them, and that's the reason why like volume is often the thing. Obviously, if Byron could pull every realtor in that city and just put them on a power dialer, we would find a lot of them, and some of them would answer the phone, and because she might just be not, or she could add an emergency. I mean, that's just kind of the sum total of it when you are just hand dialing people or whatever, just for business. But yeah, I mean, we got one guy.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like that's what I'm saying. But just go call some people, man. Call 3 every day. And if you get one person a day, you got 5 people that you can send a property to of investors in your area that you're trying to, and you can send them over emails. Hey, look, I'm finding this kind of properties in the area. Thanks for taking my call. Just want you to, can you please respond to this email with the type of properties your buyer might be interested in buying? I might have some properties that fit what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So bang.
And again, what we was talking about is just like how you kind of structure that conversation. I'm just getting started. I haven't done my first deal. I'm trying to figure out how to do my first deal, but I know I need to find buyers first. So when I call the buyer, what am I telling them? Like, what am I saying to them that can actually allow me to get their real criteria, and then also kind of sets the expectation that, hey, I'm a new person. I'm going to go now look for a deal for you. If I bring it to you, will you give me an offer on it? Like, what does that conversation look like the best way?
I think it would just be kind of like what I did. I'm calling about your property. I see you have it listed over here on 123 ABC Street.
Yeah.
You work with an investor on that property? Because I find discounted properties. I like to send them over to you, see if your investor might be interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I just told them, it's like, hey, I'm kind of new in whatever market you in. Hey, I'm kind of new in the Atlanta market. Or I'm kind of new in the Clarksville market. But I'm definitely trying to learn the market and kind of, be able to bring investors, discounted properties that they might be interested in buying. I see they bought a 3.2, this many square feet. Is that what they typically buy? Do they typically like to buy anything that's, how small of a property would they typically buy?
Yeah. Yeah. And
big of a property they like to buy? Do they like to stay 3.2, or would they go,
yeah.
Will they take something with more bedrooms, or will they take something with less bathrooms, or?
What did they say? Just send me anything. Just send me whatever. What would you say to kind of like get around that objection?
Well, I kind of like to send things, based on what people are looking for. I don't want to send you stuff, that'll kind of irritate you and it's not inside of you guys' wheelhouse or what you're looking for. So kind of really want to know what would be the ideal property for you guys. And if you just can't get nothing out of them, then you see what they bought. 3.2, 1,800 square feet. Find something that's right around there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Find something right around what you see.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's like, hey, or you can just tell them like, hey, I don't send everything. I don't send all my properties to everybody. I send properties based on what people are actually looking for.
Yeah. And I think a big thing is let them know, inform them that you are new. Be transparent. The same way I wouldn't recommend nobody getting on a call with a seller and acting as if you're the buyer. Informing them, hey, I work with a network of investors. Being transparent up front just helps with the overall leverage of the conversation. So when you let them know, yeah, I'm just kind of getting started. I'm just complete. I take the model of being completely transparent. I'll say, listen, I'm just getting started. And I want to go out there and start finding deals. But what I don't want to do is go like try to find somebody and then go blast it on Facebook. I'm not trying to be your typical wholesaler. I want to find some people who I know are buying and find exactly what they're looking for and go look for it and then bring it to them and see if we can make something work from there. And so I would rather do that model. I know that I see that you're a buying. Would you mind if you just gave me your criteria, told me what you're looking for, and I went to go look for it? I've got my marketing set up. I'm going to go ahead and start marketing and looking for deals. It won't cost you anything, but if we get you a deal, we can work a fee in there. But I just want to make sure if I can get you something that you're looking for, can I send it over to you and you can give me a little bit of feedback? Like I said, I'm just trying to, put something together. You know what I mean? And then just let them know that. And then again, I think you're going to run into, from my experience, I think you're going to run into a lot of times with the folks, oh yeah, just send me anything. I'm like, hold on, dog. And again, I'm just having that conversation. Maybe I'm talking about when you brand new. Now I've gotten to a better place where I can have that conversation and it's structured a little different. But I'm trying to give you the tools. If you ain't got your first deal, how do you say that? You can't be like, oh, I've done deals over here. You can't use that. So what I'll say is when they're just like, yeah, just send me anything. I'm just like, well, I don't want to be one of those guys who's just sending you a bunch of junk that you don't like or just wasting your time, because I know that if I send you a couple of deals that absolutely don't fit your wheelhouse, absolutely don't fit your criteria, then it's not going to take long before you just start ignoring my deals or I'm just wasting your time altogether.
Yeah, so, that's definitely what's going to happen for sure.
That's exactly. So
that's
tell
exactly
them that.
Happen, for sure.
And reason with them in that manner. Just be like, I gotta, just tell me exactly what you're looking for. If you got the time, I don't want to take too much of your time. No, I don't have a deal queued up. My goal is to figure out your criteria, and I'm going to go look for it. It may take me a week or so, but maybe 2 weeks. But I'm gonna start finding it. But then after you get their criteria, you want to get on trying to get them a deal. You know what I mean? Because it might take you longer than that. And this is another question too, Byron. I want to ask you this again. Let's put ourselves in the mind of a new guy. Yeah. And they just talked to a couple buyers and got some criteria. And now they're like, dog, realistically, you would want to get them over a deal right away. But it don't always happen like that. What if it take me 2 weeks? Maybe it take me a month before I really find something. What do I do in the meantime? Like, how do I keep that connection with that buyer?
So a lot of times what I would do, first of all, you got to go in on your marketing. Anything that come close, like anything that's close to being interested, go ahead and send it over to them like, hey, look, I found this property. They might be interested,
Yeah.
Here's details. Let me know where you think you would be at around on this one. Anything that's close, let's get them an offer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would just check in with them, just call them back and just, at least hit them up and like at least within 2 weeks and just be like, if a guy named hey, Daniel, man, this is Byron, just give me a call back. I know we talked not too long ago. And I've been out looking for properties for you guys. And what I'm running into is, this, that, and the third, people want too much for their properties, and I'm trying to, figure out what I could do to add value. Do you think your buyers are willing to put down maybe a little more earnest money to show they were serious? Or do you think that, how fast could they close? Like get other little details like that, and then just being able to talk to them. You say, hey, people are buying more, people are asking for too much for their properties. What are they going to do? Yeah, that way they want too much. They just get to talking. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude was like, oh, they priced up it over there. Da, 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 da.
Exactly.
And they just show them appreciation, like everybody, like they want to be heard.
They want to be acknowledged.
To talk and somebody to listen to them. They want somebody to say, oh, yeah, you know what you're talking about. So just be that person that's like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing. That
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, man.
and it
That's
kind of get people, just let them talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Get them somebody that they can talk to. They can,
to share their
share their
experience.
wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's big, man. That's how people would always ask me, like, how do you find a mentor? How much did you pay? I ain't pay nothing. People just like to talk about themselves. But what Byron said about getting them anything, so that means once you got their criteria, you know, talk to a couple buyers. Now you need to immediately be switching into marketing mode or prospecting mode and start cold calling, cold texting, whatever you're doing. You need to hit it and hit it hard. And then if you get somebody and you're in a dialer and you get somebody and they say, I'm not really ready to sell right now, but give me, you know, couple months, give me about 4 or 5 months, and when my kid graduates school, then I'll be ready to sell. Take that deal. It's not really a lead ready to go, but take it and use it as a conversation point with those buyers. Hey, I found somebody over here in this area with this criteria that you said you like. You know, I'm not, you know, I don't think they're really ready to go, but you know, what would you do for a deal like this? I just need to get them an offer just to see where would you be at on something like this? And really, that's a strategy. One, you're continuing the rapport and the relationship with that buyer, keeping it a line of conversation open. And two, you're also getting more about their criteria. Now you actually have a real property as a talking point. Now they're going to break that property down. And the more you do that, the more you be like, oh, okay. So if it was this type of property, he would be here for this reason and that reason. And they might even say, I had one lady say, oh, I'm not buying property on that part of town because it's close to the sewer system or something like that. She was just like, so I don't buy property. I was like, I would have never known that. But when I sent her a property in that area, she said, no, not right there. But you go up here, up the street, make a left. Yeah, all day long. Give me those properties all day. So that's a twofold strategy, because I know a lot of people be thinking that, well, if I call the buyers first and I don't got no properties, what I'm gonna say to them or what I'm gonna do? There you go. In there, man.
For sure, man, for sure. So, but man, we've been on this thing about an hour and 30, man.
Movie. This is a whole movie, man.
I think this is a good one for sure, though. But man, we're gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna make it our mission. Come on back tomorrow, man, and give you some more. But appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure you watch the videos, share it out, all the other good stuff, man. Check us out on IG. We're gonna keep bringing this thing, keep getting better. Get us. Cordero got the fresh cut. You know, I gotta get my fresh cut. You know,
fresh, man.
You know, stuff like that. But yeah, man, we're gonna try to make the show better, better, and better, man. So y'all just stay here with us, man. We got 10 people still rocking with us. Mika got the logo, man. Got the logo.
Shout out to Mika, man.
The logo. So it's J Dub. J dropping gems, man. No doubt, man. But anyways, peace out. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one, man.